Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to a video all about QPR. And if we're talking QPR, we have to get somebody on board, don't we? We have to get somebody on board. This should have happened ages ago, my man. We should have been doing videos like all of last season, and I can only apologise because my scheduling is dreadful, mate. But next to me here, you'll see we have our main man, Jbakes, aka James. How you doing, my dude?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm doing very good.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. Before we start this, just want to let you guys know we did do a video over on Jbakes' channel as well, so make sure you go check that out if you want to see our championship predictions. It's over there. It's really good fun to film, and actually was really interesting as well.
Really funny as well, man.
Yeah, it was class. Really enjoyed it. So make sure you go check it out. He does other FIFA content. He does stuff on Football Manager as well. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go over show him some love and drop him a cheeky sub while you're there. I'd really appreciate it, boys.
Thank you.
So pleasure, my dude. Absolute pleasure. But today, on this channel, we are going to be looking at the mighty Queen's Park Rangers, and we're going to be discussing sort of the ins and outs. Yeah, mighty. All right, just go with it. We're going to be discussing like the ins and outs, and basically what we're going to talk about is our starting 11. Maybe look at our sort of sub bench and stuff, players that we think maybe should have a chance. So just kind of a bit of an insight to the team before the season starts off. How we think everyone's going to do. The players, like I said, that we really see fitting and doing quite well for us. So, as and when you're ready, my dude, I think the best place to start really is discuss the keepers because we have a lot of them.
We do have a bloody lot of them. We do.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So starting off, really, I want to say, basically, in my opinion, we'll start off on the keepers. Dylan Barnes. He's come in. I don't understand the signing, in my opinion.
I don't get it.
We've got so many under 23 keepers: Tyler Dickinson, Martin Browski. Obviously, Dieng's gone out on loan. We've got Lumley and Kelly. Like, where's he gonna fit? Like, I don't see where he's gonna fit.
To me,
got an opinion. Like, I don't get it.
It's for me. It's basically what's happened is we've got somebody in that's meant to have a bit of potential. We've got him on a free, and I honestly reckon the hope and aims is that at some point we can sell him. Like that. That is honestly for me. It's like when you do a career mode and you start like a youth system. And you go, oh, that keeper's got potential, I'm going to train him up. Yeah, I'll train him up and I'll get 3 million for him next season. That, to me, is exactly what we've done. We've gone, this guy's got good young potential. He's probably not going to play, but we'll just get rid of him in a couple of seasons and we'll get about a cheeky mil for him when he proves himself at like under 18s or something.
I just don't understand. Like, where's he going to fit? Like, he'll probably play cup games, I believe.
He might. He'll play. For me, I don't even think he's going to play the cup games. Like, I honestly think, okay, so straight off the bat, for me, Lumley, best keeper we've got. In my opinion, I don't think we need to improve on Lumley. My main hopes was that we kept hold of Lumley because there was a lot of teams at the start of at the end of last season and and the start of this season really actually people looking at him and I thought please don't go. I don't want to lose Lumley. And then when we were interested in Kelly, I thought oh god, this is the replacement. Lumley's on his way out. And Kelly's going to come in and I've got nothing against Kelly. Fantastic pickup, 50 grand for a player. Yeah, a little bit. I think he just needs to assert himself a little bit. He looked a little bit shaky a couple of times I saw him pre-season. Maybe needs to work a little bit on his catching. I can't catch anything, mate, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But like he seems to palm the ball off a little bit. When we played against Austria Vienna, there was one chance where it came sort of low to him. I feel like he could have caught it, and he's kind of palmed it out to the striker. I like that. First game of pre-season. I mean, pre-season is what it is. You have to take pre-season with a pinch of salt. But I think. For me, Lumley is the starting keeper. I think Kelly will play in the cup games. And I don't see any of the other keepers even featuring, honestly. I just don't see it happening at all. Because we've got 2 good young keepers.
Yeah, and to be fair, in my opinion as well, watching us during the pre-season and all that kind of stuff, if we're going to talk about Kelly and Lumley, to be fair, I think what Warburton did was, he thought, oh, I'll bring in Kelly because he's my kind of player. I played with him before. I promoted him at Rangers, and he can play with his feet. Like, he can use the ball well. Like, the same kind of thing Guardiola done with Hart. And I think, like, Warburton's intention was to let Lumley go and have Kelly in there. But then kind of seen Lumley and thought, hang on a minute, I can adapt him. Because watching him against Watford, it's the best I've seen him play with the ball at his feet. Like, his passing...
his distribution was nuts.
His distribution, he was just passing, like... The way he was moving the ball, and even into the midfield, like Vamos and that, pinpoint passing, I feel like Warburton's thought, right, we'll give him a shot, and I feel like I did see an interview the other day where on Sky Sport talking about the goalkeepers, they said about the goalkeeping coach, and said about the way that he thought the goalkeeper should go, because obviously, I feel like they wanted Kenny to come in and be that player that Guardiola wanted Bravo to be, and then the goalkeeper coach kind of, hang on a minute, Lumley's been proven, he's made himself assertive. He's actually bloody come in and done well. Like, what's the point in doing that? So I do feel like as part of the goalkeeping coach as well, saying, look, Lumley can do what he wants to do. Just give him time. Because footballers can always adapt, and I'm really happy Lumley stayed because he's a great player. So
he's a fantastic player, and like you say, like, so those of you who don't necessarily watch QPR or know too much about QPR in regards to actually maybe you don't go to see him play that often. Last season, I physically saw Lumley take goal kicks and then go out for throw-ons. Like, his distribution has improved so much. Even from I've only managed to see 3 of the pre-season games. I've watched 2 online, and I went and watched Watford, and honestly, the distribution alone has been fantastic. That's, for me, been such a big improvement because he's a fantastic shot stopper. He's good at command in the box, in my opinion.
Just lanky.
And he's big enough that he can control the box from as high as he wants. And his distribution is the one last thing I think needed to improve, and I think he's done that. Yeah,
the thing that impressed me the most is that he wasn't as slow as he was. When I went to go watch him at Bournemouth Wood, so slow, like, it was so static. Like, the midfielders wouldn't come wanting the ball, where Don Ball, Amos, Smith, all 3 of them wanted to come getting the ball, and that's something that's going to be, I think, highly influential this year when the midfielders will come collecting the ball, play it from the back. The only thing I'm worried about is negativity, like watching them trying to always keep the ball. I think just go for that pass that can make something happen. Like, they're just not always doing it. Like, I think Smith done it and Samuel couldn't get there, but just do it. Like, if you lose the ball, that's all right. We look all right defensively at the moment. There was a moment where they did punt the ball long, and it got a bit confusing between Barbe and Hall. But I guess we'll move on to defenders soon. But I'll see how you want to play it out. But yeah, that is my point on goalkeepers. I thought I'd bring on Barnes first because just so baffled about that.
Just a weird pickup, wasn't it? Really weird. Yeah. But you mentioned defence, and we'll get into the defence now. Actually, I think realistically, it's been the biggest change we've had with ins and outs because it's quite likely that we could have a pretty much full new line of defence next season, depending on the way things go and who Warburton decides to play. Because obviously he's brought in Wallace. Wallace is a great leader. Obviously been at Rangers for a long time, knows Warburton pretty well. He's been captain there for, I can't remember, it's quite a few. It's like 6 seasons, isn't it? I think.
Something, they got dropped for the past 2.
Yeah, but he is an obvious and proven leader. For me though, my starting left back has got to be Ryan Manning.
Yeah,
it's got to be the way he's learned and adapted itself. Yeah, I honestly think the way he's adapted into becoming this left back is phenomenal. It's completely game changing. Bidwell for me had a good ball on him, could put in a decent cross. But hasn't got the stamina, the drive, the wanting to chase down, the upwards and backwards of like a proper wing back, not even just like a fullback, almost like a wing back. And for me, Manning is he's going to be so good. He's going to be so good next season.
Yeah, I agree. Watching him against Watford, he was getting forward a lot. His touch is phenomenal.
Oh,
he can have that. The only thing that I don't like about Manning is if he makes one mistake, he just drops his head straight away. He needs that kind of person to just be there. Look, you'll make a mistake in football. That's what's supposed to happen. I remember watching him against Bournemouth Wood, and yes, we was adapting, but he gave the ball away. I think his first ball, and then for the rest of the half, it was a bit tragic. But apart from that, he come out and he played really well. So I think confidence is a massive thing within football. Obviously, playing in position like he is, he just needs to have time. Obviously, I feel like he's not the quickest player, but he's very intelligent. His intelligent positioning as well, the way he puts himself about. And as a left back as well, I actually watched. He kind of plays as a wing back. I watched him as well. He plays like an inverted wing back, so he'll come inside more than anyone else. He'll play if there's the balls on the right hand side, he'll stay out wide. If the ball ain't coming up wide, he'll drift into the middle where Smith was. I've seen a lot, and that's what kind of Guardiola done with Walker. He come into the middle of Mendy. So that's what I feel really impressive. Look, Warburton's actually looked at him and thought he could be an influential player going forward, but we can't not have him in the team. Because adapt him to put him at left back.
Agreed, and I think a good luxury of that, like you say, with him coming inside. We obviously, with us signing someone like Barbe or Barbet, however it's said, I still don't know, mate. Barbie, appreciate it. He obviously can also play left back. He played left back for a couple of years, I think, and and that would give a bit of allowance that actually, if we then had a problem out wide and Manning's out of position, he's more than capable of knowing what he should be doing and covering that position while everyone else gets back, sort of thing. So actually, I think that kind of partnership of the left-hand side of the defence with Manning and Ken's misses is going to work really, really well. I really do think that's going to be a solid little partnership, and they're going to do bits together, honestly.
Yeah, I do. I think I think it'd be a great little partnership, like you said. I just think lock down the positions that we need, lock down actual solid defence. Because one thing we've been struggling recently the past couple of years under Holloway, Hasselbank, even McLaren, like there hasn't been a solid back four, and that's one thing that falters QPR. Is that one week we play Cousins, Baptiste, Furlong, and Bidwell. It's like, what is that for a defence? Like, realistically, we need a defence where they're consolidated within their positions. Like, I think Furlong was a better centre back than right back, in my opinion. When he did play at centre back, he was very good.
Yeah,
but
good dominance.
He needed to play right back, so
yeah,
I don't know. It's just different. Like,
no, definitely, and this is what we're saying. Like with the fact that our back four is going to be completely different to mainly how we like started next season. Because Manning did come in at left back a little bit after we got him back and whatever else. But for me, it would be fantastic if we can keep hold of Tony. I honestly think I know he gets a lot of stick from a lot of people, and I know that he's not everyone's favourite player. I actually think Tony is so vastly underrated for us. I think he's a good leader. Yeah, like he's not the tallest. I don't think he's like what, 6'1" or something. Yeah, and his pinpoint passing is actually nuts. The amount of like switches he made, where like he's got that ball, he's got a little bit of space. He saw Bright or he saw whoever, and he's just gone pinged it straight on the button to him. And I honestly think that is such a fantastic thing to have. And Barbet has just the same ability. They're both fantastic and confident players playing that ball out of the back, which suits Warburton's play style. But they've both also got that great ability to ping a beautiful pass, like 30, 40-yard pass, and switch the play up completely. I think they will be a fantastic partnership, honestly. I think they're going to be fantastic.
I'd like to see that partnership, but I don't think it'll happen. Because I just think Warburton's so set on Hall, to be fair. He started every game. So.
He has started every game, and it's good to see Hall getting that play time, honestly. Because obviously all the injuries and stuff he's had in recent years.
Because he got played a season when he first joined us as well.
When he first joined, yeah. He played like a sort of holding midfielder role for a little while as well, and he was pretty class at that. But for me, okay, so in your opinion, if you were to pick, out of those, naming those three, who would be your back two?
I don't know, because I like Barbe because of how... I'll play Barbe, he's straight in there. With Hall and Leistner, they've got so many different things. Because you can say Leistner, Hall and Barbe like for like. They're both ball playing defenders. I would play personally. I'd play Leistner.
Yeah.
Just because they're different. Leistner would be more that covering centre back, but also no nonsense. He'll just go straight through someone and win the ball. Whereas Hall, he's kind of more slick. He's a bit more calm. He'll do what he needs to do. But then if you've got Barbe next to Leistner, it's kind of like the assassin next to the bloody like. I don't know, you say like the angel. It's like they just play very well together. It works well, and I like to see Leicester and Barbe happen. But I think Warburton as a manager is a bit stubborn, so I think like it won't be that way. I think he'll just want to play the ball playing defender way and not give Leicester that chance. But I'd like to see it be Leicester and Barbe, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the main thing with Leicester, in my opinion, from what I've heard, obviously, is the fact that his family are a bit unsettled in England and they're not massively enjoying life in London, and that's the main reason he's been kind of linked away. But I think realistically, if he can be kept and he can be, him and his family, whatever, convinced to stay, I think Barbe and Leistner will be the starting back line. And I think Hall will be unlucky to miss out, honestly, because he's had a good pre-season. He's been there for X amount of time, and I think he's a bit of an unused talent. But I fully agree. Him and Barbe are similar players. It'll be nice to see a slight difference in partnership because actually I think that will gel well, and I think they'll do well together.
Yeah, fully agree. Right, talking about defenders still though, who would you play, Kane or Rangel?
Well, this is the difficulty, isn't it? This is the difficulty because you talk about experience and you talk about genuine class, and Rangel is that. Rangel is so good. Yeah. I don't see Rangel getting a 48-game season though. I don't see him managing all season. I think it would be a waste to not use his experience at times. But I think it would be an equal waste to not play Kane. For me, Kane has got to be that starting right back.
I remember watching him last year at Hull. Like when you just see him on the telly, like put the game on. I thought, actually, like not saying this because we signed him, but I was saying this because like he was playing right back, and then they moved him to left midfield, moved to right midfield. Like, having that versatility on the pitch, and he actually does a job at every single position. Yeah. Scored 3 goals from right back last year. I don't want to say it because Rangel played really well. And I would personally start the season, I would play Rangel against Stoke for the psychological advantage because he scored 2. That's literally my point of view. But apart from that, I would give Kane the jump over Rangel simply just because he's younger. He could probably last more. And if you need Rangel, you have that experience from the sideline, and you can kind of be the person in the dressing room. I feel like that's something that he said in his interview as well when he signed. He was like, "Oh, Warburton said like what Rangel said last year is very influential again." Because when Rangel signed, Eze was playing amazing, and then Rangel went out of the team and got injured, and Eze started playing bad. So I thought maybe like that is some kind of like partnership there. So I don't know.
No, I agree. I would 100% agree that Kane, obviously being the potential future for us in that position, the fact he signed a couple of years deal and is obviously a darn sight younger than Angel, but
yeah,
I would say that the class of Rangel is going to be used and more influential off the pitch, but definitely can come on and be that sort of class pickup player when needed. Because say it's getting to like the 80th odd minute or something, and we end up taking someone like Bright off and moving Kane higher up the pitch, and then bring someone like Rangel on. You've still got somebody who's quite defensive minded in Kane that's going forward a tad, but you've got someone who's solid and knows exactly what he's doing in Rangel at right back. But yeah, I mean, I would say we've both got pretty similar thoughts on the sort of defensive line of things. I think we both agree that Lumley's got to be the number one. Manning probably out there on the left. We'd both like to see Barbe and Tony in the middle, but wouldn't be unhappy with Hall. And Kane and Rangel were both pretty happy to see whoever would probably just about give Kane the edge.
One thing I just think that's so important for this season is rotation. We haven't had that. Yeah. Like last year, I'd say we didn't have Rangel playing. We'd have Furlong, but Furlong was injured for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Rangel got injured, so I had to play Kakai a couple of games. And I'm not right saying Kakai isn't good, because promoting youth is always great. But I just think with that, say if one of them gets injured, Rangel or Kane, hopefully, in my opinion, I don't want one of them to get injured, but if Rangel was to get injured, then we've got Kane. It's like, we just have that backup. I feel like we've got 2-3 options in every position now, which was so much stronger. Because even if Manning gets injured, we've got Wallace. And if Wallace gets injured, then even Barbe can play out there and bring a hole into the situation. Yeah. So I just think there's so much more with the team everywhere. I just feel like I'm just so excited for it to get started.
Yeah, and I think the youth players, like you mentioned, like Kakai, like he's been at the club for a couple of seasons and he's finally had a bit of a chance. Like Hammerleinen had a pretty decent season out on loan last year. If Manning and Wallace, there are problems, I think Hammerleinen could still come in and do a job. Like you say, Barbe's versatility. And I think that's another massive thing. We've got so many versatile players, so many players that can play in so many different positions. Hall can play in the middle, at the back, in the middle and midfield. You've got someone like Cameron who can do a job at centre-back if he really needed to.
Yeah,
like, say, Rangel. Yeah. Rangel's a great rotation. Kane can play pretty much anywhere on the pitch. You've got Bright who can play those, anywhere going forward. Like, I think, like you say, realistically, the cover we've got this season is much better than last season. And actually, the versatility's nuts. That for me, is the big, big improvement.
100%.
I think the part of the pitch we're definitely most stacked, though, is the midfield. 100%. We've got so many midfielders that it hurts leaving some of these players out. It really, really does. But I think one of our best potentials in the club, some of the players that have the most potential, and some of the players that excite me the most, are definitely out wide. Definitely our wingers. And just to touch on what you were discussing before about Manning needing that sort of voice and that person to kind of bring his head up, Pugh is a fantastic. I'm still pinching myself that happened. That is such an incredible signing.
It's like you look at him and like if he's not at the club, you'd think, oh, just an average signing. But as I've actually looked at him, his background, every Bournemouth fan said he's going to end up being a QPR legend from one season. Because I wouldn't say Rangel's QPR legend, but every fan loves him now.
Oh, I love him. So
I just think Pugh, in my opinion, he's 33 now, so he's got a year and an option to extend it. Which he said he's been doing his own pre-season. That's the first time I've ever heard a player say that, like doing his own like football drills, own pre-season, getting people that he knows to come train with him. Like that shows a level of commitment to get back in a shirt. So in my opinion, that's what I love about him. But his contributions last year in the Prem, for being 32, are phenomenal. Like for a 32 winger, you'd think they'd be on the bench just coming as an impact player. But he actually played a lot of games last year. So
he did.
I just think that it's just a great sign to have. Like if you Mark Pugh, it's like really? But if you actually look at him and look at his reputation, you just think, wow, like so many other clubs wanted him. I think there was Middlesbrough after him. Middlesbrough after him and Kane. We've come in and got both of them on the same day. From both. That's the first time QPR's ever done that. Normally it's the other way around. Normally we'll be interested in a player, take about 6 years to go and sign him, and then they'll go somewhere else. So I'm happy that it's changed. So yeah, Mark Pugh is a great sign in my opinion.
Fantastic. And has to be in. for
I just don't
me,
know.
him and Bright have to start. Like,
Yeah,
I know
100%.
a player that a lot of people have had a lot of excitement about recently, and I personally, I've never seen it. I've never been fully excited about Shadipo. He's never ticked all the boxes
Oh
for
yeah,
me, and I think this pre-season, I think he did okay for a little while against, was it Watford? Yeah, it was Watford he played as well. He did all right. He makes good runs. He's quite rapid. On the ball, he doesn't fill me
decision
with,
making isn't the best.
yeah, like, and I obviously a fairly young guy who's been at the club for quite a while hasn't really had that breakthrough. It's finally looking like it might be his kind of time, but I don't see it.
I feel like with Shadipo it's very unlucky because
Hmm.
he come through and played very very well on the Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank when he started against Leeds at home. Reading got 2
Yeah.
assists in 6 games, was doing alright, and then it kind of got to the point where he got injured. He was out of the team, and by the time he come back, he was trying to persevere with Gladwin,
Yeah.
and then we kind of went from playing that kind of formation to playing a kind of Junior Hoylett out wide,
Yeah.
and then it come with like I can't remember who else we had. I think we had Poulter and Washington up front together, and then Cherry was playing as well. So when he actually come back into the team, Phillips, it didn't really work. I feel like it got to a point where he just couldn't get back in the team. But he's got the quality. It's just his final just distribution isn't the best. Like his crossing's all right, but I don't feel like he's kind of played to set the world alight. So I think he does need another loan spell. But the loan spells he's had have been at someone like Chesterfield, Port Vale. The sides would be down the bottom. I don't know why QPR do this. Yeah, they always send them out on loan to sides like down the bottom. Like Ota last year went on loan to Walsall. Got 1 goal from a penalty. Didn't really do much. They got relegated.
The worst of it for me is that they don't even end up playing half the time. Like we send them to these teams that they really realistically, if we're considering them for our starting like squad, realistically they should be playing at these teams they're going to. And if they don't see them as starting players, then I don't think we should be. And that's no disrespect to the teams they're going to, but like if they're not good enough to fit in at like a Walsall, for example, are they good enough to be our starting player? Like that to me kind of speaks the boundaries of it. And for me, Shadipo isn't that. So I would have to say Bright and Pugh for me have to be the starting wingers. And I think Brightside Samuel, if he can just get his shooting down, if he can just get a little bit better on that finish,
the post.
Honestly,
he'd be so much. If he got like 100 grand every time he hit the post, he would be so much richer than everyone in the championship. Like, oh my days!
I honestly reckon if he can just get that shooting down, I reckon he'll get roughly about 15 or so goal contributions through assists and goals himself, and I think he'll be really really good. And him and Eze have this fantastic little partnership. They get on outside and on and off the pitch, and I think that they'll be fantastic together. And I think actually he'll be I think Bright will be very influential as to whether Eze has a good season this season.
Yeah, I think so too. To be fair, yeah, that's just massive. I think.
Yeah. For me, the toughest part of sorting our midfield out is the sort of central holding sort of players, because we've got quite a few, and we've got quite a few good ones.
It's difficult because the way you said about playing Pugh and Brightside Samuel, but at the moment, if you look at the realistic formation Warburton wants to play, it's kind of Eze starting on the right and then coming into the middle when the ball's in play. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, can he fit in with the centre mids we have? Because in my opinion, with the players that, if it was my starting 11, the players I would play, Eze would be on the bench. Like I don't want it to be, but he would be on the bench. So. Okay.
Because I mean, from like for example with Watford, I found Eze was kind of drifting and floating behind like Bright or Shadipo, and like you say, then cutting inside when the sort of opportunity arose. I personally, the way I see the formation, if it was on paper, I see it like a sort of 4-2-3-1 or like a 4-4-1-1 almost, with Eze sort of being behind the striker on paper, and then having that kind of freedom to push out wide, sort of influence on the wing, and then cut inside. So for me, that middle two has to be quite defensive, but has to be able to carry that ball. Luckily for us, we have a lot of players that can do that. Obviously, players that were already at the club, Scowen. I think Scowen has been very, very good last season. I think he's been amazing. Yeah, he was very underrated last season. I gave him a lot of stick at the start of the year because I just don't think he was the right player. But you know what? I'm very happy that I was proven wrong. I think actually he more than showed his worth. and I think for me, it's tricky to not put him in the team. We were discussing sort of off camera a little bit about Mass. Oh no, it wasn't off camera. That was in your video. Check it out. Link in the description. Make sure if Luongo stays, he has to start for me. Like I can't not play Luongo. But then that means that someone like Scoa might miss out. Amos, who's looked fantastic in pre-season. Dominic Ball, really good on the ball, fantastic distribution, exactly the kind of player that Warburton would want to play. You know, Cameron, we've got him back now. It's really, really tricky to actually pinpoint a midfield two because I think we've got so many options.
It's gonna leave some players unhappy for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
He's gonna have to manage that somehow. Like, I just don't want him to be the kind of manager when Brentford fans, Rangers fans, Nottingham Forest fans have said like he will stick with a team if they're not playing well.
Yeah,
he might not change it. Hopefully, he does do that because if you've got a midfield two that aren't performing as well as another midfield two could, say he's playing Smith and Amos, and together they're both attacking, but it doesn't work, and then he sticks with it because they're the players that he believes are best for the roles, and then we end up playing bad. I hope it's kind of person to adapt it and maybe change the formation if it's not working. Maybe go to a 4-3-3 with a CDM and then a higher midfielder than the other. Like that's personally what I would play if we was to play.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about all that stuff like latter stage of the video. But
yeah, and I can understand that. Like I think realistically, with the players we've got in, like you say, the strength in numbers, the versatility, he's got to be willing to adapt at times because, like you say, there'll be players that will be upset and missing out. There'll be players that definitely deserve to play that aren't going to be playing every week. And I think, hand on heart, I think it massively depends on if Mass stays. If Mass stays, the decision gets even harder.
Yeah. Because at the moment, it's like Mass is there for fitness and not playing. But it's kind of like, do you remember the season where we had Andy Johnson, Zamora and all that lot? When we played Sheffield Wednesday at home, we beat him 2-1.
Yeah.
It was like Barton was there, but no one expected him to play. And then he played. He was there. He was captain. He was starting. And we're just there kind of like, hang on a minute. We've known nothing all summer.
Yeah, nothing of any showing of him playing at all. That
could be the Luongo factor. Yeah, that could be Luongo.
It could be. And I think if he plays, he would for me be a definite shout for captain as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think he should be captain because he's just kind of the leader on the pitch. He tackles a lot. He sprint well. He just the amount of distance he covers a game. He's so underrated. Like people. I think football fans are very fickle. In the point of, if there's any QPR fans watching this, let me know if you see anyone around you. But where I sat, obviously in South Africa Road and down the family stand, and also the other side, Ellerslie Road as well. I kind of sit everywhere, but I'm mainly South Africa Road now. But when I sit in the family stand, you kind of hear a lot of people talking about players just passing, moving, making space and stuff. Yes, centre midfielder should do that, but if they don't backtrack, tackle, battle, and all that kind of stuff, which is elements within the game, which is key, you won't win. And that's what a lot of people just don't look at. They just look at the fact of can he pass the ball? Can he ping a ball 50 yards? Like, so many football fans don't understand football.
Yeah, and really because the game's changing so much. Like, it is. Like, it's not the same game that it was 20, 30 years ago. It's not the same game it was 5 years ago. Football is adapting non-stop. And I think Championship is definitely one of the leagues that actually is becoming so versatile and so strong in comparison to what it was at that point. I think you can't sit here now and, like you say, just expect to pick up a midfielder that can pass and that be good enough. It's why I think Ball is slowly going to adapt himself because he's got a good pass on him. He reads the game pretty well. And I think, actually, if he is going to feature a bit more, he'll adapt into that Warburton press and actually push back a little bit more, sit in front of that defence, and then go forwards as and when needed.
He's only 23.
Exactly. We've got so much youth in. Well, no, he looks about 40, mate. But I honestly think we have got such a luxury in the midfield, and I think we have a really underrated midfield. I think a lot of people will look past us and not expect us to do well, maybe because they don't know a lot of these players. Like, I think, is Scowen a household name? No. Is Ryan Manning a household name? No. But are they good players? Yes, they're very good players. I think we're going to get overlooked by a lot of people. Actually, I think at times that's going to work in our favour.
Yeah. And the one thing that's different now is as well, people knew Scow and Freeman Luongo. They're like, QPR got the best midfield in the Championship. But realistically, if you actually put them on a pitch, they all do the same things. When Scow and Freeman, when they went forward, Luongo kind of stayed back. And that wasn't the best of Luongo's game. Luongo's good when he's going box to box. So that didn't give Luongo the freedom, then he was outnumbered. So I feel like the balance we've got now, with Amos, the attacking midfielder, kind of, in my opinion. Yeah. And maybe with like Cameron or Ball or Scow and Luongo, or even Smith, it works that way because we haven't mentioned Smith, we haven't mentioned Cameron. We've just
I
mentioned
keep
Ball.
forgetting.
Like,
I keep forgetting about Smith because I didn't see too much of him.
But he played. I thought he played quite well against Watford. His passing is very good. He's very fit, which is good to see. So
he was for me. He was a little bit. Sometimes he looked a little bit scared on the ball, but I do think that was partly down to he's not had consistent football because he's been in City's sort of youth system. He's not had consistent football. And I think he'll adapt really, really well. He showed sort of glimpses of promise, which is always really nice to see from a youngster. But I don't know enough about him yet. I'd like to see him play a little bit more actually, and kind of show himself so I can understand kind of what he's about. Because I was the same with Dominic Ball, but now I've seen Ball in a couple of games. I kind of get what he's about. I get the kind of player he is. But I think Smith's going to be a player that is slightly underused. I don't think he's going to get as much time as he probably should. I think he'll play in the Cups quite consistently because of that rotation. But, I don't think he should be overlooked. But like I said, for me personally, I don't know enough about him. Cameron, on the flip side, fantastic player. Obviously, a little bit troublesome with injuries last season. But for me, Cameron is the best player to have alongside Mas Luongo to give Luongo that freedom. I think when Cameron played, Luongo was... infinitely better player.
I just think if Cameron don't play, I'm going to throw a tantrum because watching him last year when he left, or when he got injured against Leeds, when he come back in the team was so much better when he come back, and the team was so much better before he got injured. Like, it's just it's so susceptible to change when a player goes. Like, you just see him playing in that centre defence mid. We played against Derby, and they were a great side. We drew 1-1 and he scored. Yeah. Watching that game, he was just cutting out every pass. When we beat Villa at home, the ball we put over the top to Pav, like. I'm going to miss Pav, but every ball he put in, every tackle he put in, every pass, and he's so composed. Like, he won't always just go forward with the likes of maybe Scowen would try that chipped over the top ball that wouldn't work, or Lynch, like, for Christ's sake, Lynch. But, like, he would do them curled balls to try ping into the strikers. Like, he wouldn't be that kind of bloke, and if he was playing centre-back, he would give it back to Lumley. He'd rebuild. Like, kind of player every club needs. So,
no, I agree. And you mentioned pinging the ball through to the strikers. Striker has been our biggest problem for probably the last 3-4 seasons easily, basically since Austin. I would say we haven't had a recognised out-and-out goal scorer since then. Like, Matt Smith was an option.
Plan B.
But he couldn't be and was becoming, which was a slight problem. I've got nothing but love for big boy Matt Smith. Honestly, I've nothing but love for him. But he wasn't... for us, he gave us too much of a one style, too direct, too obvious and unchangeable play.
It's just give it to me, I knock it on, run.
Yeah, and that was the issue. Like, that's his build. He's not rapid. He's not quick. He's a little bit lumbersome at time. He kind of looked like he'd had a hip replacement after coming on like with 10 minutes left. But like, he did what he did. He was a workhorse. He put as much effort in as he could, and he often he'd bag a cheeky goal or something. But realistically, I think Hugill is one of the best loan signings in the Championship. And it might look a little bit biased, obviously, as a QPR fan. I genuinely think that is one of the best loan signings this transfer window.
Just hope he hits the ground running. Just hope. Because you say that, but looking at his record, obviously, last year, Middlesbrough, he scored 6 in 37, which isn't great. But
it's not great, no.
Hopefully he can... Well, he can't be any worse than Washington, Silla or Poulter. So, I mean...
let's not go there. You live said Poulter out of this, all right? He's a hero. I think Hughes going to be great, and this I'm probably saying it wrong. Is it Malacca? Is that right?
Malacca.
I think
Malacca, yeah.
It'll be good. It'll be good to see him get a bit of a chance as well. I mean, he was a little bit unlucky against Watford. He didn't really get too much. Sub. Yeah, I think he'll come on fairly frequently. I think he'll be like a staple, 60th minute on. He'll
be our Thomas Priskin.
Oh mate, let's have that going, shall we? But I think Hugill is going to do well. I think he's going to get the service. I think he's got the right players around him. Pugh, is going to be putting on a what's it called, post stamp for him. I think Eze is going to work well just behind him, and I think hopefully they can get a nice little partnership going. And I think Bright down the other side is going to again just be providing
this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping he's going to be our big player this season. But one player that we haven't mentioned, for me personally, that I would love to see get some involvement is Ilias Chair. I think he has the potential, slightly different style of play, but for me has the potential to, within 2-3 seasons, be our new Luke Freeman. I really rate him.
The only thing I love Chair, like the goals. Obviously, I'm from Stevenage, and he was playing at Stevenage.
Yeah.
And I saw him play a couple of times, and he was absolutely phenomenal. Like you just tell that he was a step above everyone. He'd cut the ball and just take on about 3 players and just knock it off. He'd walk off like he's an absolute boss. Like he only scores bangers. Like he scored from his own half once.
He did.
Scored bangers against Lincoln. Like it proves that he can do it. It's obviously that's only League 2. But I remember when he played against Birmingham, where we played like a really youthful team against Birmingham last game of the season at home. We had like Anua, we had like Kakai playing, Furlong, Bidwell, all them lot. And yeah, I just feel like, given the chance, Chair could be great. The only thing I'm worried about is a bit lightweight, a bit small. But,
100%.
For the championship. But Messi's small, and look at Messi. So I'm not comparing Chair to Messi, lads. Don't get in the comments.
I'm comparing him to Messi. He's the new Messi, boys.
But yeah, our new Moroccan man. I think it's meant to be. So.
I think he'll do a real good job. I think for me, he's quite unlucky with someone like Pugh coming in, because actually I think it was a good chance for him to maybe every now and again push for a first team start. But someone like Pugh coming in, invaluable experience, very, very quality signing, good player. He would keep someone like Chair out of starting, honestly. And the only player that otherwise I'd have maybe considered playing over him has gone out on loan, and that would have been Paul Smith, because I cannot believe he's gone out on loan again. If we hadn't signed Pugh, I'd have been fuming, because he would have started for me 100%. Brighton and Smith.
I think he'll come back and be in the first team. No doubt.
He's got to.
And if he don't come back, I mean, I'm not saying like we did with Wheeler, I'm gonna be distraught. Like he played for Northern Ireland, first game got a goal. Like what does that prove? Like I'm sorry.
First game for us got a goal as well.
Yeah, he scored a lot of goals for us.
And
He's got 2 or 3.
And as some of you guys will know, Wycombe Wanderers is actually my most local team. I went and watched, when Eze went on loan, I went and watched some Wycombe games when like QPR away and Wycombe were at home. I went and watched some, and he was phenomenal, like unbelievable. So that's why I got so excited about Eze. And I plan on doing the same for Paul Smith this year, going and sort of watching Wycombe when I get the chance to.
And Giles Phillips.
Phillips as well has gone there. Like, I think actually having Wycombe as not like
affiliate,
not as being like a feeder club, but yeah, pretty much like it's somewhat similar. The fact that we have Gareth Ainsworth, the legend that has such a strong relationship with QPR, having that club to actually have some of these players go out on loan there, more than 1 or 2. Like Charlie Owens was there last season and everything as well. Like, and actually getting that game time and a bit of experience together kind of works in our favour. And I hope Smith absolutely bosses it and gives us we can't not be without him next season. I hope he just really proves himself.
What's actually good about him going out on loan there as well, we started from the start of the season.
Yeah.
He's had loan spells where it'd be the middle, and then he won't be able to push himself into the team. Whereas he's starting, he played against Brentford, got a goal, or no, I think got an assist.
Beautiful assist.
Got an assist, and got like a secondary assist where he gave the ball to someone else for someone to cross it into Akinfenwa, and got fouled quite a lot. Got fouled for the penalty as well. So I just think it's just a no-brainer, really, to put him in the team afterwards. But one person I haven't really mentioned, like, it's not really the most exciting signing, but it's someone we haven't really mentioned, like Masterson. Like, I think it's a quality signing. Like, yes, he's not the biggest, he won't be the strongest, but watching him play against Oxford, obviously he wasn't on for very long, but when he was on, his passing's great as well. He could be like a future Hall. He's only he was under 23 captain at 18.
It was.
Like that proves something. He's highly rated. Obviously let go because of injuries and stuff, so hopefully he can come to us to do something good. Probably replace the likes of like Giles Phillips, to be fair. Like, I don't think he'll get much chance, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
I don't really see him very good. Like Charlie Fox as well, went out on loan to Wycombe, didn't play. It's kind of like the loanees a bit weird. So yeah, I think Oton needs another spell out on loan where he's given a chance to actually shine with a club that do decent, or a club in League 2 that are promoting for relegation, going for promotion. So I don't know. It's just these youngsters we've got a good youth academy. It's just they don't get enough chance in the team. But if we send them all out on loan, we don't have any rotation for cups. So it's a bit strange.
That's the difficulty. Like that to me is a difficulty, because I was hoping, because I love Ote. I've got nothing but love for him. I think he has got good potential. When he sort of was first breaking into the first team that little while, when he got that, was it Burton? He came on and got a goal.
Hit him in the face and went in.
Yeah. And like, it was a very, very lucky goal. But I was kind of hoping that maybe that little bit of luck would kind of G him up a little bit and go, oh, you know what? I can maybe try and push for a sort of a start near the end of the season. And with all the players we had going out, Smith obviously going and everything, at one point, Ote was the only recognised striker we had in the club. And I thought, he has got to see this and go, I need to show that actually I've got a decent place in this team and I can push to start here. And he didn't do it, which was kind of gutting, honestly, because I have nothing but high hopes of the fact that, like you say, some of these youngsters coming through can do well for us. And we can actually go, you know what, we've got 5-6 players that have come through our youth academy and are like definite players that have to be in our starting 11 or on the bench for us. So I hope that we can keep bringing some of these youth players through and them actually getting a chance. Like, like Chair, like Smith. I mean, we kind of brought him in rather than youth player, but you know what I mean? Like these youngsters. And I think Masterson will definitely fit into that fold of someone who's that little bit younger and has experience. Yeah, definitely. 100%. 100%. Him and Hall, I think, would be a good little partnership. Somewhat similar style, like you say. Both confident on the ball. But maybe slightly lacking in height as a back two, but you know what? I think they could do a decent job.
Yeah, be decent. I think
so, my question to you now, I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Yeah.
I've got in front of me, I've got a formation and a starting team that I would just about go with. And that, like I said, is very, very difficult for me to really nail on. But I'm going to ask you, Mr. Jbakes, good sir, if you were to say you could only play 11 players for the entire season.
11 players a season?
Like, if injuries weren't a thing, and you could only play 11 players of our team, formation and 11 players, go. Who would it be?
Alright, so I'll play a 4-3-3 with a cam. With obviously basically 4-3-3-4. So I'll play Kelly between the sticks, Lumley in between the sticks.
I was about to say you started off badly here.
Right, Lumley in between the sticks. Just because of the duration of the season, I play Kane. I play Lice on the right, Barbe on the left, Manning the left back. The deeper of the two in the centre mid spots, I play Cameron. Next to him, I play Amos. Centre attacking mid, I play Ezzy. On the left, Samuel, right Pugh, and up front, Hugh Gill. We
have got very, very similar starting 11s, my dude. I've gone with like a 4-4-1-1, so sort of like a free roam sort of centre forward / sort of cam just behind a striker.
Yeah.
Again, Lumley in goal. Again, for the length of the season, I've gone with Kane, Tony on the right, Barbie on the left, Manning at left back. I've gone with Cameron as like a sort of the more holding of a two-man partnership, and Amos. This is because I'm not still entirely sure what's going on with Luongo. I would struggle with Amos and Luongo would be a little mix around. But I can't see us not using Cameron. Like you say, he was so influential last season. I think he has a bit of an onset. But again, someone like Scoa missing out is going to suck. Do you know what I mean? Like it's tough.
Scow, Smith, Ball, like all of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. And then I've gone Brighton Pugh as well. So, maybe a little bit of switching there because, like I said, I think Pugh being that sort of authoritative figure for Manning on the wing would be quite helpful at times. But I do see Bright as more of a left-sided player than Right.
I feel like he's got a lot of pace. That'd be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Overlaps and stuff.
And then Eze as the sort of free roam cam, and then Huge up top. So very, very similar teams there.
Very, yeah.
Oh man, that was really tough. That was really tough. Like sort of going through everyone, talking about who would be the starting 11s, the players that are missing out. We've got. I think this is the first time in quite a few years I'm sitting here going, such and such is going to miss out
don't know my
on game
first
time.
Team, yeah.
And that's a nice feeling. That is a nice feeling. Yeah,
that's what you normally get with the teams that end up going up. Like, you think about the year Brighton went up, they had kind of a set starting 11, and there was always competition for places. Like, Dale Stevens broke his way into the team. Like, and then he's been like one of their best players for years. So it could be that way for us. Obviously, a lot of our midfielders are on loan, so hopefully we can finalise that in future seasons because we haven't been able to spend much. But I think Amos won't stay with us. I feel like Tottenham sent him out on loan, so he will start because he was part of their Premier League plans, but obviously got injured. Yeah. But I feel like maybe Smith, if he does kick on and maybe plays better with Amos this year, maybe Amos for the latter stage of the season, if it is the plan they're going to keep him, if Smith can play more and then we can maybe get him for cheap from City. That's kind of my point of view looking across to it. But I know, I want our best team to start to win games, but I want to question you here. I don't know how long we want this year to go on. If we had to have a subs bench, what would be your 7 subs for that whole season? And that's hard because there's loads of players. That is very, very hard. That is incredibly hard. So bearing in mind the 11 we've got, I do actually have a subs bench. That is something that I did sort of plan. So Kelly for me would be the sub keeper, would be our number 2. I've gone Hall
as our sort of defensive option. It was between him and Masterson, but I think Hall, just from the fact he started a lot of pre-season and he's actually looked pretty good. It's probably the best he's looked in a couple of seasons, and is injury free. So that's really positive to see. Rangel for me, great experience coming on off the bench, and would give Kane that versatility to be moved elsewhere on the pitch if the substitution needed to be made. Then the next difficult one is Scowen. And again, this is all because I don't know about Luongo, so I haven't included Luongo in any of this just because I don't actually know what's going on there. Yeah. So it would be Luongo. Otherwise, it's between Scowen, Ball, and Smith. Only two of them can make on the bench for me, and I've gone with Scowen and Ball.
That's harsh.
And that's very, very harsh on Smith. But I think if I'd said Scowen and Smith, it'd be harsh on Ball. If I'd said Ball and Smith, it'd be harsh on Scowen. So that's a really, really tricky pick. But on here, I've written down Scowen and Ball. Sorry?
Scowen's going to be a very important player, utility-wise.
Yeah, I think. Very, very important. Then I've got Chair, and then I've got
Macapaka.
Yeah, that's his name now. Macapaka. You're welcome, mate. I'm sure he's watching, so he'll be chuffed with that.
Lanyan Macapaka.
Go on then. What's your bench? Go for it.
Oh, you put me on the spot.
I
put you on the spot.
Boom.
Right, obviously I'll put Kelly in.
Yep.
Rangel and Hall, more than likely. I'd go Smith and Scowen.
Okay.
I love Ball to bits. Like, he played really well, but when you've got Cameron, if he does get injured, then you've got so many midfielding options that someone would either adapt or just push up higher. Mm-hmm. I put obviously Chair in there. Somebody said that's Kelly, Rangel, Hall, Smith, Scowen, Chair, and obviously Malaka. So that would be my bench. If it wasn't for Chair, I would give Shadipa maybe a run on the bench because I want to see what he's about. But I think Chair is so much better than him, and obviously he's one player. Obviously, I want to discuss this as well. Mm-hmm. Like, what's your opinion on Goss? Like, what do you think is going to happen to Goss? Like,
I reckon
it's such a pointless signing. I don't understand.
He was signed with such promise, and I was pretty excited when we signed Goss. I thought actually that's a fantastic pickup. He's a youngish player who's kind of been around the blocks a little bit, at Premier League sides or whatever. And I thought, you know what, he's going to do all right. He seemed to start off pretty well at Rangers, then it kind of went off the boil a bit, and like, I hope wherever it is he ends up, whether it's with us or elsewhere, I hope he does well because I think he's got the potential, but it's just never kind of really clicked with us. It's like the weirder thing.
He's ended up on the bench of the side he played at. And he went on loan to St Johnstone, played well there, ended up on the bench. It just hasn't worked out. I think he'll end up going. It could be. Who knows? I think that's the sort of thing we can only sort of assume because we don't know the ins and outs of it. But I would 100% say that he's going to be on his way out. He's probably not happy that he hasn't played as much as he has. And I reckon there'll be a team that wants him somewhere. But yeah, man.
100%. But boys, I think we can round that off there. I think this has been a pretty good discussion. It's been fun to just kind of have the chat and be able to have this sort of like podcasty style thing. Yeah, just chat. I think it's nice to have. And like I said, boys, if you didn't already, you should know. Let's be honest. Bakes did a video on his channel as well with me in it, talking about our championship predictions. Like I said at the start of the video, make sure you go and watch that. Drop it a like, and of course subscribe to him while you're over there. But my dude, thank you so much for coming on. It's been so much fun. I really appreciate it.
Man. I've really loved recording today. It's been amazing. So
that's been good. And obviously, if you guys have enjoyed this, make sure you leave a like. I'm sure we will think of other things to do. And if you guys have any other suggestions or things you want to hear us talk about, make sure you let us know in the comment section down below on both videos. And we will definitely have a little think and have a chat as to things that we can definitely do and discuss in future videos. But for now, boys, I'm going to say a massive thank you to you guys for watching, to James for taking part, my dude. Thank you again.
No problem.
And of course, I hope to see you all soon. Subscribe if you're new around here, but above all else, look after yourselves. See you later.
Let's go. Hursty games, and this how we do. Now it's time we team up. Check them online, you might catch them playing FIFA. Hey, yeah, you know we keep it live. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Gaming channel, what's the best one? Keep it hella dope, hella fresh, huh? Yeah, Hursty games, tune in. Even told my grandmama, sister, and my best friend. You might want to check them if you want to be entertained. You already know the name. Check us out, Hursty games. Hey, whoop. Make sure to give a like and subscribe.